The violent attack on Paul Pelosi shocked both sides of the political spectrum. But how is Pelosi actually doing? And what's going to happen to his alleged attacker? On October 28th, Nancy Pelosi's 82-year-old husband fell victim to a violent home invasion. San Francisco police officers responded to a call at the Pelosi residence and made a gruesome discovery. According to CNN, Paul was attacked by a deranged assailant whose intended target was the U.S. Speaker of the House. At a press conference, Police Chief William Scott made clear the targeted nature of the attack.
This was not a random act. This was intentional.
He also condemned the alleged attacker for committing violence against the relative of an elected official.
Their families don't sign up for this, to be harmed. And it is wrong.
Law enforcement sources told CNN that the suspect, later identified as David DePape, was shouting, "Where is Nancy?" when he entered the home. Days after the attack, it was revealed that Paul made a life-saving decision to secretly call the police from his cell phone the moment the invasion began. Paul was hospitalized following the incident and is expected to make a recovery. On October 31st, federal prosecutors announced the charges David DePape would face for breaking into Pelosi's home and violently attacking Paul. DePape has been federally charged with the attempted kidnapping of a federal official and assaulting an immediate family member of a United States representative. He also faces local charges of attempted murder and residential burglary, among other charges. According to the federal complaint, DePape entered the home in hopes of detaining Nancy until he uncovered, quote, "the truth." The statement went on to say, if Nancy were to tell the suspect the truth, he would let her go, and if she lied, he was going to break her kneecaps. Meanwhile, Paul remains hospitalized, and his son has provided a brief update as to Paul Sr.'s current condition. Paul Pelosi Jr. has said they are rebuilding him slowly. Paul Sr. suffered a fractured skull during the attack, among other injuries, after being struck by a hammer wielded by DePape. According to the New York Post, Nancy and Paul Jr. visited Paul Sr. at San Francisco General Hospital and Trauma Center on October 30th, with sources revealing to the publication that Nancy was there for several hours. On Monday, Nancy Pelosi noted that her husband is doing better, but will continue to have a long recovery process. In addition, she also revealed she was grateful for the overwhelming response of well wishes from around the world. She issued a statement that read, "Since the horrific attack on Paul early Friday, we have been deluged with thousands of messages conveying concern, prayers, and warm wishes. Our family thanks everyone for their kindness." In the meantime, more disturbing details about his attacker, David DePape, are beginning to surface. Fox News spoke with Jen Molnar, one of DePape's neighbors, who revealed what the suspect was really like behind closed doors. Although he described DePape as strange, Molnar noted he never saw him as a threat, but wasn't entirely shocked that DePape did something of this nature either. He said,
"I wasn't 100% surprised, but I also was a little bit saying oh no to myself because I more or less knew this would happen."
Meanwhile, DePape's former partner of more than 10 years, Oksana Taub, shared a similar story to ABC 7 News.
He is mentally ill. He's been mentally ill for a long time.
Taub recounted the time DePape went missing for a year, and in her words, came back a completely different man. She explained,
He is constantly paranoid and thinking that people are after him.
David DePape is slated to be arraigned on November 1st in San Francisco Superior Court, where he will face a long list of state and federal charges. Prosecutors are reportedly looking to request that DePape be held without the option of bail. San Francisco District Attorney Brooke Jenkins shared during a press conference that she believes the heinous attack was politically motivated, and for that, DePape should receive severe consequences for his actions. If DePape is found guilty of his crimes, he could potentially be sentenced to 50 years in prison.